Hello, beautiful people. Your 50-year-old biohacker here with new information, hopefully, for some of you. And it was new for me, so I'm just gonna share my view, and it's pretty much established to my understanding, to my thinking actually, because there's still theories about what aging is, and the prevailing theory of damage accumulation, toxic accumulation is still pretty much alive and kicking. This theory speaks of aging as a development stage. So aging is predetermined. It's in our genes. It's programmed, and pretty much logical because biological entity. We are as a biological entity. We are species. First of all, we are not individuals. We are species, and biology is interested in species survival rather than in individual survival. So, for example, when an individual becomes sick, injured, the body doesn't have a task to cure it and return to the same state as it was uninjured. It doesn't. It saves the resources for reproduction. So reproduction is the main goal of an individual, biologically speaking. So quite often the body would conserve the state. The disease would become chronic disease, and so that the individual would have a chance to reproduce. So to that point, death is predetermined. So the individual of a species is supposed to die. There's no other way around. It's supposed to die. It's supposed to give way to the other individuals, to the new generations. This is how adaptation to the environment works. This is how evolution works. So environment changes, and we need to adapt. Every species needs to adapt. And if we can die off. If the environment changes and we don't adapt, we will die off. In order for this to happen, every generation needs to die off. So this is predetermined. This is in our genes. And the question is how long an individual is supposed to last, biologically speaking. Is it supposed to be a random process? So obviously not immortal. Albeit as I mentioned, the situation, there are some animals that do live so long they're considered immortal. And how long an individual is supposed to last is actually down to the species, to the environment, and to the needs of the species and their ability to reproduce. So this all interconnected. This is how anything in biology happens. It's all interconnected. All the pathways, all the needs, all the incomes, all the outcomes, all the inputs, all the outputs. So let's explore this idea, this hypothesis that lifespan is predetermined. There's pathways that kills you at a specific time or start to kill you, or some pathways are switched off or some pathways switch on. So the idea of pathway switching off is pretty much established. We all know that hormone decline, functionality decline, but again, it's pretty obvious this is predetermined. Until recently, it has been thought of as a random entropical process. So it's an entropy. Everything becomes yeah, let's draw a roadmap. What we would do, search what we would do if we found out this and that. And so how would we go about it? So let's imagine we establish the pathways that's switching off and they're switching off and they give us the result of predetermined time. And we try to influence. So what would happen? In theory, in from the biological background, from how it happens in biology, there will be more than one pathways, there will be so many backups, so there will be so many networks connected, interconnected. So switching off one detrimental process or switching on one detrimental process would not change much. This is why people tweaking with this and that doesn't yield great results. You don't have outliers like great outliers. Also, there are actually, but there's so few that they actually prove the point. And yeah, I noticed this. So, for example, you try something, you try some protocols, it works for some time, and then bam, it stops. Because biology has a task. It has a task in the genes. Essentially, yeah, if you change your genes, you can live forever.